Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Για άλλη μισή ώρα λοιπόν, Keep Walking, παρέα με τον Johnny Walker εδώ στο στούντιο του Rock FM.
That's the next song I'm getting ready to do right now. And I'm going to do it, and I want everybody to say hello to Henry. Henry. First, I got to put a cigarette in his mouth because that's the only way he works. And then when he works, tonight, some mother's daughter's going to be happy. Some father's son is going to get a fur burger. Bless you. You have just
Evil spirits in the studio or something.
Did you see him when he played here?
A light for the man who reaches into your chest and fumble with your emotions and take your most choicest one and delicately destroy it and gracefully bow out of your life. So in the heat of the meat and the mass of the ass, the shade of the toothpick beats the hot boiling sun. Move down.
Great band here playing with Jay.
Yeah, you know,
Jay is my dad.
Fuzztones backed Jay in 1984 after I found Jay playing solo in a bar.
Where he played novelties.
Yeah, he wasn't even playing his own stuff. He was playing Fats Domino songs and old R&B for a bunch of yuppies who had no idea who he was. And I went to see him a few times, and I just went up to him every night and started talking to him, you know, trying to introduce myself. And at the end of the 3 nights that he was playing there, I told him who I was and that I could get him a record deal with a really small label that we were on. It was just an independent label, but he wasn't doing anything, you know, so I figured a little label is better than absolutely nothing. And I got him on Midnight Records out of New York. And Jay wanted session musicians for his band. for the recording, and of course this little tiny label couldn't afford it. So the label decided what they would do would be to have a band back him up and record it live and put that out. And originally the band wasn't going to be the Fuzztones, it was going to be the Out of Place. The Out of Place were
Another New York band.
They were a New York band of teenagers. They were very young and they were very inept. They were really, really fun and they were really good at what they did. But what they did basically was very, very simple 3-chord garage punk. They could have never played this kind of music. But J.D. Martignon, which was the guy who ran Midnight Records, got a real kick out of pissing off the Fuzztones. He was actually given the Fuzztones album at the same time he got the Out of Place album. And we were the first band to ever come out of New York playing this sort of music. He specifically chose to put the Out of Places album out before us just to piss us off. It was fun for him. He was French. Do I need to say more? So, that's right, the French. Screw him. So anyhow, he put no. Yeah, but the French can't hear Greek radio. When I'm in France, I'm going to tell them how much I love them. But since we're in Greece,
You are in trouble.
screw the French. We love the Greek.
You know you're in trouble right now because the French maintain a certain attitude against the
We
war.
love the French.
So, okay.
I've always said we love the French. Listen,
everybody.
let me tell you a little secret. The French invented fellatio and cunnilingus, and for that, I say the French are the best. Also, they invented the menage a trois, which is a specifically favorite thing that I enjoy. So, the French rock, as far as I'm concerned. But I didn't particularly care for J.D. Martignon. So, where was I? Thanks to your Uzo, I forget where the hell I was in this story.
Screamin' Jay Hawkins.
Screamin' Jay Hawkins.
Midnight Records, and then the Fuzztones ended up backing him.
No, we should thank Thanasis for the Uzo and beer because the more we drink, the better interview it is.
At least the better we think the interview is. It might be totally incoherent, but we're having a lot of fun, so who cares?
So
but
was
I
like-
forget what the hell I was saying.
We were talking about Jay.
Remind me what I was saying. Jay.
About
Screamin'
Jay.
Midnight Records, and how we ended up being his best
Oh, okay. So for some reason that I can't remember anymore, the Out of Place did not end up playing with him, and Screamin' Jay couldn't use the session musicians that he wanted, so J.D. arranged for us to play at a live show and have Screamin' Jay be our guest. So we did a few rehearsals, learning a few songs. He was supposed to come up and I believe play 2 songs that we learned. He didn't come to the rehearsals, and the day of the show, he didn't show up. So up until the time we went on stage, we had absolutely no idea if Jay would really even show up at all. We only knew 2 songs. We did our full set, and on our very last song, I looked over to the wings, and Jay was standing there in full regalia, long cape,
With Henry.
with Henry on a stick, and a bone in his nose, and he was ready to go. And I walked up to the mic, and I introduced him, and he came out, and we did 2 songs. Then we went to walk off stage, and Jay said, "And we're not even done yet." And we had to fake it. And we did a couple more songs, and we just faked it. And on that record, you can hear us just following him. We did 2 more songs, and it was recorded for posterity on that album. We were just making it up as we went along.
Talking about Jay Hawkins, you did a major contribution to Nicholas Triadafilidis' documentary, A Put a Spell on Me. I know that a lot of the footage is actually from your own archive. It's very rare.
Almost all of it. Everything other than the Greek footage and one other gig. Everything else is my footage, yeah.
And my informers say that you are making your own documentary about something.
Yeah, I'm working with a guy from a band called the Ghastly Ones in America, and we're doing a documentary on 60s garage and the guys who are still performing. So we're interviewing them and doing some footage of them playing shows and playing in the studio, and a lot of interview footage on them as well.
So this is the original primal sex beat, let's say, by the Stooges.
In my opinion, this is the sexiest drumming I've ever heard in my whole life. Absolutely.
It speaks to women's hormones.
It speaks to my rod as well.
How do you feel about the Stooges coming back together?
It's been way long overdue, and I'm really pissed off that they're going to be playing in California while I'm here on tour. Stooges, to me, are one of the very, very most important bands of all time. This album changed music entirely. There's a lot more to the Funhouse album than a lot of people think. They introduced jazz into punk, really. I mean, there's a lot of...
It was like listening to John Coltrane. I mean, the saxophone and stuff.
Not just the sax. Listen to the drum parts of this album. They're extremely original. If you listen to a song like Dirt or a song like 1970, there's a lot of jazz influence and jazz that even a total rock and roller can really identify with, because somehow they brought it in to the punk garage rock and roll idiom and made it valid, made it something that people who don't even care about jazz could really identify with. If you listen to the sax playing on this album, it's really out there, and yet it really fits. It's like Coltrane or Miles Davis playing with the Stooges. Miles Davis used to snort coke with the Stooges. So obviously there's an influence there. And all these jazz cats were playing in Detroit at the time. If you listen to the MC5, they were doing a lot of Sun Ra influence stuff, as well as their normal stuff. If you listen to Rocket Ship on the Kick Out the Jams album, it goes totally off into a Sun Ra thing, you know. And I think that's really cool to bring that into the music.
So guys and girls, the logo of this tour is Make Fast Not War. We discussed about your opinion, you're anti-war, anti-Bush, anti-Republican, anti-authority.
Absolutely.
Any other comments about this issue?
Yeah, I want everybody out there to know this for an absolute fact. The American people did not elect Bush. This is something that, in my opinion, is the first time in American history that a president was elected not by the people. Bush does not represent the American people. If you listen to the propaganda which is pushed by the government, if you watch TV, they'll say that the American people are behind Bush. It's not the truth.
Do you think that the Democrats would do the same or not?
Absolutely not. Look at Clinton's record. Look at the greatest president we ever had, Jimmy Carter. Hell no. They're for peace all the way. They're for human rights all the way, which was what America was supposed to be about originally.
Yeah, but Carter did his stuff also. I mean, El Salvador and Nicaragua and this stuff.
I think Jimmy Carter was the best president we ever had. I think that he tried very hard to keep peace in America. He was very, very much for human rights, not only in America but outside of America. And now that he's not president, he's still doing that when he has nothing to gain at all. Him and his wife build houses for people who have no money. He actually gets out there on his own and builds houses. I mean, can you even imagine Bush doing that in a million years? The only way Bush would ever be motivated to do anything is maybe dig an oil well.
We had just one fan wrote us about the war, so I wrote him a letter and I posted it on our site, and then I had a guy from the Frantic Five, the drummer Costas, write me back, and he had a really good point to make. He said, you know, tell people that playing music is the best way to make people come together under any circumstance, and that's what we're here to do.
Yeah. That's how we really feel. And as far as like our American presidents, you know, there are so many outside forces that are controlling our country, you know, and
big business.
It all boils down to money, and it's unfortunate in our country where, you know, the real people who live there, who work there, who really strive to make, you know, a good life for themselves and their families, don't have much, you know, control anymore. We are railroaded into, you know, situations that we really do not believe in.
Our opinions aren't taken into account anymore as they were years ago.
You know, and I have to say for myself, I have great empathy for the people, you know, who are sent over there, those troops, those people, because those people are just like working class people who got into the Army to take advantage of certain programs that are a part of being in the U.S., you know, Army, to get like loans, to get education. They didn't think that they would ever be involved in something like this. And then all of a sudden, these people who have family, who have children, are sent over here, who have to participate in such ugliness, who have to create such violence. They don't want to be doing this. They're following orders because that's what they have to do. But I think deep in all of their hearts, they don't want to be doing
but
this.
sometimes you should defy orders as a person. I mean,
you know, sometimes that is easily said,
Of course,
but how do you do it? You know, have you ever been in that situation where you have to defy orders?
okay, of course.
You know, what would happen if they walked off? They would be put in jail. You know, what do these people do? It's a very, very complicated situation. And, you know, the Fuzztones feel that, you know, no human should be creating war on each other or creating violence on each other in any way. What's wrong with our, you know, our universe right now where we have to have such struggle and strife on this planet? This is 2003.
Well, the thing to keep in mind is we're at a point in time now where we have nuclear weapons. It doesn't matter who uses it first. The minute that one is used, that's the end of the world. It doesn't matter who's at fault. No one can be allowed to ever use the first one. So therefore, since that's part of war now, the way it is now in this current state, no one can ever use it. We have to just stop war entirely because whether it's right or wrong, the first nuclear bomb that goes off is the end of the world. So it doesn't matter who's right. It doesn't matter what the cause is. You have to find a different way to settle it than nuclear war.
Be responsible. Every country, every human. Who's going to make that first step to make that decision? Who has that right to make that decision? Nobody.
It's certainly not George Bush. He was not given that right by the American people. He ambushed that right. Ambush Bush. That's the major problem that we have right now is we have, in my opinion, we have the next Hitler on our hands.
are you afraid, as an American, of this whole new fundamental Christian
Absolutely.
thing going on?
I can tell you right now, I've been around for a long time. And I can tell you that our rights are being taken away from us as Americans. I've been around long enough to remember when we had rights that we no longer have. And I can see rights being taken away from us, and they're doing it for our own good. That's what the American government tells us. You can't do this for your own good. You can't do that for your own good. We're protecting you from terrorism. Well, I can tell you, the real terrorist is Bush. We have absolutely no proof at all that Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. And yet we're at war with him. We have no proof. We went against the United Nations. Now the United Nations are against America. Huge mistake. What do we do from that point? We're absolutely totally against this. I think it's the biggest mistake, and it makes America look like the asshole of the world. And I personally, I'm only talking about me, Rudi Protrudi. I want nothing to do with it. I don't want to be associated with it in any way. I registered in Italy as a communist last year, and I'm damn proud of it.
I think this is the best way to close our discussion. Thanks very much. I mean, I definitely know that you will kick ass on Friday at Gagarin Club at your gig.
We'll try our hardest.
Thanks very much again, and okay, I will see you after the break.
Thanks for having us.
Λοιπόν, κάπου εδώ τελειώνουμε. Ο Γιάννης Λεωνά εξακολουθεί για τη συνέχεια, φιλοξενώντας του Ζήτα Ζουν. Ο Θανάσης Μίνας και τον Τζόνι Walker ήταν μαζί σας για το προηγούμενο 2ωρο, παρέα και με τους Fuzztones. Αύριο πάλι λίγο μετά τις 6. Καλό βράδυ.
The shadows were all I had.